Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Lind. I'm a wellness chiropractor emphasizing the metabolic and neurological components of health. I've been practicing in Salem, Oregon since 1988, and boy, have I seen a lot of changes, not for the better necessarily, in healthcare over the last several years. Things really need to change, but today I want to talk to you about insomnia. There's two major kinds of insomnia. The first kind is the kind that you just have you have difficulty getting to sleep, and that's related to stress and things in your life. And that's some people need to take medication, or they want to take some alcohol, something to depress their system so they can wind down and go to sleep. The other kind is when you're getting to sleep okay, but you wake up at night, and that's related to a certain biochemical reaction that I want to talk to you about. In either case, if you're not sleeping well, you're not healing. Your body's not repairing itself. Major issues of sleep and its impact on health. So, one of the things that we want to do is two things. One is we want to check you neurologically. Like I mentioned, I emphasize neurological components of health. How's your brain and nerve system working? How's your balance and coordination? Is your brain communicating with the rest of your body? There's a couple tests we do. They're simple tests, but boy, they're so illustrative of how the brain doesn't know where the body is. And we check your cerebellar, the parts of the brain that does coordination and movement. We'll check some oxygen, see how your oxygen supply is working, because if you're not processing oxygen well, you're not sleeping well. You can't get a good night's rest. And so we want to check those on a neurological basis. But almost as important as neurological is the metabolic. There's two glands called the adrenal glands. They sit on top of your kidney. If you have insomnia of any kind, you're going to have to get your adrenal stress index test done. It's a salivary hormone test, and it tests your circadian rhythm of cortisol. Cortisol is a valuable, important hormone produced by the adrenal glands. It affects many processes, but one major process is blood sugar. At night, when you're supposed to be sleeping, your body is in a fasting state. Normally, melatonin goes up just before you fall asleep. Serotonin, what are those? Those are neurotransmitters. Let's get to cortisol, then I'll talk about neurotransmitters. So at night, cortisol is released. If cortisol levels increase in the evening and at night, to release insulin, to release glucose from the liver to be transported into the cells. That's normal and a natural process. That's what should happen. If your cortisol levels are decreased, if they're low, that means your adrenal glands are really stressed. You're not producing cortisol enough. Your body still needs blood sugar. What does it do? It kicks to the next pathway called the adrenaline pathway from the cortisol glands. That's what wakes you up. That's what wakes you up, and you can't get to sleep. So if you're not sleeping well, that's the first test you have to have is an adrenal stress index. If your cortisol levels are down, why are they down? Do you have a stress going on in your life? Have your adrenal glands been beat up far too long that they just need some resuscitation? They need some help to get back on track again. But how's your blood sugar? What's going on with your insulin and how your body processes blood sugar? That's a major factor also with insomnia, not sleeping well. So you're beginning to see there's multiple components. It's not just you need a sleeping pill. You've got to find out what's going on. I mentioned neurotransmitters. Most neurotransmitters, serotonin, 95% of it is in the gut. All neurotransmitters have been found in your gastrointestinal tract. That's where they're produced, that's where they hang out. That's even considered your second brain. Now, if that's not working well, you're not producing neurotransmitters that are getting to the brain. How can you sleep when neurotransmitters talk to the parts of your body they transport nerve impulses, and they allow that to happen. How can you sleep and get a good night rest when the neurotransmitters aren't even there? So there's a simple form that we use and asks you certain questions to see really how your neurotransmitters are reacting, or if they're even involved at all. And that's an important point. But the adrenal glands, the blood sugar, all of those have to be addressed in order for your sleeping to get back under control. So your sleeping, or lack of, is a symptom of another problem or problems in your body that just aren't well. You can't just take a pill and say, oh, I'm okay now. You've got to get to the problem. And if it's stress in your life, it's a lifestyle issue, we need to address that. And there's powerful protocols that we use as well. And they're natural, and there's no side effects. And they help the body, help your body get well and stay well, so you can be better in a year from now. So you can reduce the stress in your life, stress on your body, so it can work for you and do the things that you want to do, like you used to do and are having difficulty. So that's my talk to you today about insomnia. I know it's brief, but there are multiple areas, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over a couple things with you. We're going to go over the metabolic assessment form, a neurotransmitter form. I want to do a neurological brief evaluation of functional tests to find out how your brain is not working well. If you need oxygen, if you're oxygen deprived, you've got to get oxygen to your system. If your sugar is, your body needs two things. It needs oxygen and sugar. And if those are faulty, your body can't heal, no matter what you try to do. So those are the two major areas that we're going to look at. We're going to look at your adrenal system. We're going to do a salivary index test. We've got to find out what's going on so your sleeping comes back under control again, and you can get on with your life. So call my office if you don't have the forms yet. The packet of information is 503-581-6846, and we'll get you started. We'll have you come in and sit down. If I can accept you for care, I'll plan a whole protocol, natural protocol, lifestyle changes, metabolic protocols to get your problems, whatever they happen to be, because one size doesn't fit all. We have to find your particular problem. That's why we do these blood chemistry panels, to get to identify a detective on your case, to find out what's going on and get your life under control. So I hope you've enjoyed this short, brief video about insomnia, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. I'm Dr. Peter Lind.